In this video, I'm going to be going through each one of these cases for the brand new iPhone 16 Pro to find out which ones are the worst and which ones I think are worth your time. And I guarantee that you're going to find one case here you're going to absolutely love. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to everybody for all your support and comments on last year's video. And if you're new here and you like what I'm doing, make sure you hit that like button because it really helps out the channel. And as always, I will be putting timestamps and product links in this video's description so you guys can skip around. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I will be giving you my favorite case picks based on a few different categories. So grab your snacks, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So here we have the Lucent Pro case by BENKS. So this is a pretty simple clear case. As you can see, it does have Magsafe built in. It also has a nice hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. It is also crystal clear. Fits the phone really well. Feels good in the hand. It does have a bit of a grip to it. As far as the buttons goes, nice and clicky, easily pressable. As you can see from the side, we do have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone either. So this is the most edge you're going to get. It also keeps the phone fairly slim, and you can kind of see how thick the back plating is on the phone. Here's our separated volume buttons and our action button. We also have some kind of little bubbles in the corner here for some extra drop protection. On the bottom here, we have our cutouts. We also have our power button and our cutout for our camera button on the other side. On the back again, nice and clear with that MagSafe ring, and we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. So now let's test out the MagSafe. It's got a pretty good strong hold, immediately starts to charge your phone. And it also has a pretty good strong hold on the MagSafe accessory as well. Not a bad hold. Should definitely hold your MagSafe accessory onto your phone without it just falling off. So now let's test out that camera button. So you can easily access it with your one finger. Let's try with one hand. Yeah, you can easily get your finger in there. And you can pretty easily still swipe that button. Yeah, no problems at all there. Everything seems to be working just fine. Perfect. So again, not a bad case. Going to keep your phone fairly slim as well as protected, even from some slight drops. And you can also check out the color of your phone from the back. And here we have the Lucid Armor case by BENKS. And then here we have the case. As you can see, it does have a nice frosted backing, which does keep down fingerprints, and it also feels nice and smooth. We've got MagSafe built in. It does have a hard back surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. Feels good in the hand. It's not grippy. It's not really slippery, but it does have a smooth feel on the sides of the case. There's no texture or anything like that for grip. So if you're more concerned about dropping your phone because it's going to slip out of your hand, you may not really like this case because, again, it's not the slickest case, but it does have a smooth type feel to it. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable because they are separated from the case, which is my favorite. If we look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of the phone. It also keeps your phone pretty slim. We have our separated volume buttons here, which are a darker color than the rest of the case. We also have those little airbags in the corners for drop protection as well. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We also have some lanyard holes in the side. We have our power button here and our cutout for our camera button. On the back, again, it's nice and smooth. It's got that matte look. We have our MagSafe ring, and we also have a plastic ring around our camera lenses. So now let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back and starts to charge your phone immediately. And it seems to have a pretty good hold on your phone too. You don't have to worry about the phone just kind of falling off. Now let's test out our camera button. You can very easily click it with one finger and one hand. Let's test out our touch gestures. Seems to be working just fine as well. No issues there. Very nice. So another nice simple case that is a matte that doesn't show fingerprints, but you can still see the color of your phone right through the back. And then here we have a case from BENKS Dynamic series. This is the Perspective case. So here is the case. Got a really cool pattern and look to the back, kind of industrial looking. This does have MagSafe built in. It's got a hard backing, again, surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. So there is the case. Feels good in the hand. Again, it's not grippy, but it does have a smooth type feel on the sides. Buttons are also nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the phone from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge, and it keeps the phone nice and slim. Now this case does have like this kind of pattern on the inside to help with drop protection, as well as some airbags in the corners. We do have separated volume buttons and an action button, which I absolutely love. We've got our cutouts on the bottom along with lanyard holes. We have our power button on the other side with our cutout for our camera button. And again on the back, it's got that really cool looking pattern. Nice and smooth. It's matte also, so it doesn't show fingerprints nearly as much as some of the other phones. We also do have a plastic ring around our camera lenses. Let's check out that camera button. Again, you can very easily access that button with the one finger. Let's test out our touch gestures. Again, seems to be working just fine. No issues with the touch gestures here. Yeah, it seems to be working well. So let's test out our MagSafe. Here we got our MagSafe charger, clips right onto the back, and immediately starts to charge your phone. This case also seems to have a pretty good hold on MagSafe as well. Another really cool case. I absolutely love this pattern on the back. But what do you guys think? Would you pick this one up? Let me know in the comments below. Then here we have another case from BENKS Dynamic series. This is the New York map. And here is the case. So as you can see, it's got a kind of like a map of New York on the back. It is also matte, so it's nice and smooth, keeps down those fingerprints. We also have MagSafe built in. It's got a hard backing surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. Goes in the phone very easily. Feels good in the hand. Now, just like the other Dynamic series cases, this case is not grippy, but it's got a smooth, rubbery type feel to it. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. Again, the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. It also keeps your phone fairly slim while giving it some protection. We've got the pattern on the inside again, surrounded by the corners with the bubbles in it for some extra drop protection. We've got our black buttons that are different colors from the case, which makes it really stand out, and I do appreciate that. We've got some cutouts on the bottom along with our lanyard hole. We have our power button on the side and our cutout for our camera. There it is again on the back. It's got that nice smooth feel. And we also have a raised edge around our camera lenses. So again, let's check out our MagSafe. MagSafe working perfectly, charges your phone immediately, and it also has a pretty good hold on the back as well. So now let's test out our camera button. You can very easily access it with the one finger. And we'll test out our touch gestures. Don't see any issues with using the touch. It's really zoomed in. Seems to be working just fine. And then this case is just like the New York case, but this is the London map. So you can see it's got the same matte look on the back, same black buttons. There it is from the side. And as you can see on the back. And then just like the London and New York cases, here we have the Mont Blanc. It's got the coordinates on the back here, nice smooth backing again. And this one has the same black accented buttons on the side. It's got a nice cool frosted clear look to it. And then here we have a Kevlar case by BENKS. This is the Armor Air in the Passion Green. And here is the case. Now the one thing about this is it's a minimalist case. As you can see, it's got a lot of cutouts. It's super light, very thin, and very strong because it's made from 600D Kevlar. So if you like the way that your phone feels without a case on it, you might love these minimalist cases. And even though it is super thin, they managed to actually squeeze in MagSafe as well. So there are no flexible parts on this case. It is all very solid and firm. So there it is on the phone. Feels good in the hand. It's not slippery. It's got a slight bit of grip to it, but it is kind of smooth as well. A little bit of both. But as you can see, the phone is pretty much just as thin as it was without the case on it. We also do get a slight raised edge around the front of the phone as well. We've got a large cutout here for our volume and action button. On the bottom, we've got our cutouts. On the other side, again, we have a large cutout for our power button and our camera button. On the back here, shows off that really cool pattern. It's got a little bit of a texture to it as well. Feels really nice. And because it is matte, it doesn't show fingerprints really easily either. And we also do have a plastic edge around our cameras too. Now this also does have MagSafe built in, so we'll put our MagSafe charger on the back. Immediately starts to charge your phone. And it's got a pretty good hold on the back as well. Not super strong, but I definitely think it's strong enough to where you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. And then for the camera button, again, you can easily access it because there's a cutout for it. There's no obstruction for you to use your touch gestures at all. So that is a pretty cool case. Again, if you love the way the phone feels without a case on it, but you want to add some protection, I would definitely recommend the Armor Air case. And then here we have another Armor Air. This is in the Aurora pattern. It's got that same feel and look on the back. Super thin, very strong, and MagSafe built in. That's how it looks on the phone. Which case do you guys like better, the Passion Green pattern or the Aurora? Let me know in the comments below. I think I actually like the Passion Green. And then here we have the Armor Air in a Montage pattern by BENKS. So here is the case. This is just like the Armor Air cases, just in a different pattern. Looks really cool. It's got kind of like a different 600D, 1500D pieces of Kevlar has a really nice kind of texture to it. Nice and matte. Again, this is super strong, very thin and light. We've got MagSafe built in. And it's also a very firm case. There are no flexible pieces on this case whatsoever. Feels good in the hand. Again, it's got a little bit of a grip to it. And it's got that texture on the side. Feels pretty cool. We also have a slight raised edge around the front of our phone. And it also keeps the phone super slim. We've got a large cutout here for our volume and action buttons. Cutouts on the bottom. We've got a cutout for our power and our camera button on the other side. On the back, again, it's got that really cool pattern. You can really feel the different pattern textures as well. Looks really cool. And we also have a camera ring around the back as well. This is probably my favorite Armor Air pattern. Check out that MagSafe. Immediately charges your phone. And it's got a pretty good strong hold on the back as well. You don't have to worry about your phone just coming off the MagSafe accessory. And then because of the large cutout on the side for your camera button, you can easily access it without any issues as well. Another really nice minimalist case. And then here we have the Armor Tint case by BENKS. So here is the case, and again, just like the Armor Air cases, this is made from 600D Kevlar. This just doesn't have a pattern on it, it's just a solid kind of color. It is also nice and limb, super slim and strong. We also do have MagSafe built in. And again, there are no flexible pieces on this case. Another really nice thing about these Kevlar cases is they are on your phone really good. They're not going to just fall off, and they're only going to come off unless you really want them to. So again, this feels good in the hand. It's got a little bit of a grip to it, it seems, but it's a little smooth as well. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how thin it keeps the phone. We also have a large cutout for our volume and action button. Cutouts on the bottom, cutouts on the side for our power and our camera button. On the back, again, it's got that nice Kevlar look, nice and smooth, but it does have a little bit of a texture to it. And we have our camera ring around the back. I think that this color goes really good with the desert color of the iPhone. Let's check out that MagSafe. Charges your phone immediately, and it's also got a pretty good hold on it as well. I think the magnet on this case actually might be a little stronger than the Armor Air cases. Holds onto your phone pretty good. And then for the buttons on the side, you can very easily access those because of the large cutout for all of your buttons. So there's no obstruction when you're trying to use your camera gestures at all. I love these Kevlar cases. And then here we have another Armor Tint case. This is in like a forest green. Looks pretty cool. And then here we have the BENKS Armor Pro case. This case is made from 600D Kevlar, and it also adds some more protection than some of the Armor Air cases. And here is the case. So on the back here, again, we've got that nice 600D Kevlar. It does have a nice hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type of material. And this case is also made through and through on this back plate here of Kevlar. It's not just a sticker on the back. It's actually made of a nice, strong, solid Kevlar. We also have Magsafe built in, and this does seem to have a metal ring for our camera protection. Really nice case. So if you want a little bit more protection than the Armor Air cases offer, I would definitely go with the Armor Pro. Feels good in the hand. It does have a little bit of a texture on the sides to help with grip. As far as the buttons, nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front. It also keeps your phone pretty slim, but again, it's offering some more protection. We've got our volume buttons and our action button on the side. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and a cutout for our camera on the other side. On the back, again, it's got that nice 600D Kevlar, keeps down those fingerprints. We also have a MagSafe built in and the metal camera ring on the back. Really nice case. Let's try out the MagSafe. Nice strong hold on the back. Charges your phone immediately. Yeah, this has a really nice strong hold. Definitely don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. Like it's nice. It's on there. Very nice. Let's test out the camera button. It's got a little cutout so you can easily find the button and access it with one hand. Let's test out the touch gestures. And it seems like the gestures are working just fine. And you can easily still access that button. Very nice. So I think for me, I do like the Armor Air series, but I also do like just a little bit more protection with the Armor Pro. And I think this is probably going to be one of my most favorite cases. Here we have a silicone case made by XBASE. This has been drop tested up to 12 feet. And here we have the case itself. Feels pretty much just like the Apple silicone case. It's got a nice hard backing surrounded by the soft silicone material, which is really nice. On the inside, it's got a microfiber to keep your phone scratch free. And we also have MagSafe built in. Fits the phone nicely, feels good in the hand. Now, it's not grippy, but it does have like that soft silicone type feel. It's not slippery, but it is smooth. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. And I do want to let you know that the buttons are only slightly protruding off the side of the case, so it might be a little hard to find if you're not, looking at the phone when you're, using your buttons. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on this phone either. So you can see how much of a raised edge we get. It also doesn't make the phone super bulky either. Here we have our buttons on the side, our cutouts on the bottom, our power button, and a cutout for our camera button on the back. It's all silicone, keeps down the fingerprints, feels nice and smooth, and we do have a slight raised edge to protect our camera lenses. Now, like I mentioned before, this case does have MagSafe built in, so I'll test it out with my MagSafe power bank. Clips onto the back, charges immediately, and it's got a pretty good hold on the back of the case as well. You don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. It's on there pretty good. Now, one thing to note about the camera button here, it does have this little silicone piece in front of it, but because it's just silicone, it's just kind of flimsy. Maybe almost might have maybe not even put that little piece there, but it is what it is. So let's test out our functionality. So you can very easily access the camera button with one finger. Now let's test out our touch. Does seem to be working okay. Just this little piece here kind of presses down out of the way. Maybe should have made that a little bit firmer. Like I said, maybe just cut that out of the way. But not a horrible case, especially if you don't want to spend $50 on an Apple silicone case. And then here we have that same silicone case in a kind of a winter green. And then here we have the XBASE Sparkle Series case. This has been drop tested up to 12 feet. And here is the case. It's got kind of like a rainbow effect to it, depending on how you're looking at it. It does have a hard backing surrounded by a firm rubbery type edge. And it's also got MagSafe built in. Fits the phone really well, has a really good grip to it. As far as the buttons, nice and clicky, very easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. Does keep the phone fairly slim as well. You can see how thick that bottom plate is. We've got our volume buttons on the side with our action button. Cutouts on the bottom, kind of shows that rainbow effect. We have our power button and our cutout for our camera button, a little lanyard hole. On the back, again, shows off the color of your phone. And it's got that pretty cool rainbow effect to it. We also have MagSafe built in, and we have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. I think that looks pretty cool. Let's test out our MagSafe. Charges your phone immediately. And it's got a pretty good hold on the case as well. You don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off the phone. Let's test out our camera button. You can very easily press it with one finger. Let's test out our touch. Touch seems to be working fine. The only thing with this is if you have big fingers, it might be a little hard for you to press this in because the cutout is kind of deep. But again, you are getting a pretty good thickness on the side of the case for some drop protection. Not a bad clear case. And then here we have another Sparkle Series case with some gold flake in it. Looks pretty cool. And then here we have another Sparkle Series case with some silver flake in it. You can see how thick the back is on the silver and the gold. And then here we have a Duo Hybrid Series case by XBASE. This has been drop tested up to 12 feet. And here is the case itself. Again, this one kind of has like a little shimmer to it, depending on how you're looking at it. The back is frosted, so it keeps down fingerprints. It does have MagSafe built in. It's got a nice firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type edge, and you can see how it's got those black rubber bumpers on the inside to help with drop protection as well. Fits the phone good. It does have some grip to it. Buttons are nice and clicky, very easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. On the sides, you can see those black bumpers on the inside. It also keeps your phone fairly slim as well. We have our volume buttons and our action button on the side, cutouts on the bottom, power button and camera button on the side here. On the back, kind of shows off the color of your phone in like a, oh, kind of like that desert, like a tan, like a tannish color. Looks pretty interesting. Again, it's nice and smooth with that frosted look. And we also do have a pretty nice thick edge around our cameras. Let's test out our MagSafe. MagSafe sticks on the back and charges immediately. And it's got a pretty good hold on the case as well. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So you don't have to worry about your phone just falling off the MagSafe accessory. And you can also use this case with regular wireless charging as well. So now let's test out our camera button. Very easily access the camera. Let's test out our touch. So again, this case does have a deep well that's kind of narrow. So if you have fatter fingers, it might be a little harder to access this button here. Touching it like this for the touch gestures, but the gestures seem to be working just fine. Just something to keep in mind if you do have some thicker fingers. And then here we have another Duo Hybrid case. This is in kind of like a smoked black with the black borders. Now this case does have separate buttons from the case. They're kind of free floating. They're very shiny, kind of stick out from the case, which is nice. And this also does have a metal ring around our camera lenses. Feels good in the hand. It does have like a smooth, rubbery type feel to it. Buttons are super clicky, very easily pressable. I really like this. If you take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get for the front of our phone. On the side here, you can see those separated volume buttons and action button. We have a lanyard hole in the bottom, cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and a cutout for our camera button. And on the back, again, it's nice and frosted, feels pretty smooth. And we have that camera ring around our camera lenses. Very nice case. Let's test out our MagSafe. It's got a nice strong hold, charges immediately. And again, you don't have to worry about the MagSafe accessory just falling off the case. It's got a nice strong hold. That is nice. I really do like these buttons too. Let's test out our camera. Easily access the camera. And as far as the touch gestures goes, you can easily access those as well. This doesn't seem as deep and as narrow as the clear hybrid case. And then here we have the Duo Hybrid in a pink color. It's got that nice frosted backing again, all those pink accents. This does have a metal camera ring as well in the pink. Pink accented buttons on the side. Looks pretty cool. I like the way that the nice contrast. And then here we have the Duo Hybrid in blue. Again, it's got a metal camera ring and the accented buttons on the side, which also seem to be made of metal. And then here we have a leather folio wallet by XBASE. This has been drop tested up to 10 feet. And here we have the MagSafe wallet. It is covered in all leather on the outside. It's held in place with this little magnetic clip. You can open it up here. Now we do have a portion where you can put about 3 different cards, as well as a pocket on the inside here for some money. It does have a kind of like a felt material on the inside of the wallet as well as the case. We have MagSafe, and you can also detach the case from the folio in case you don't need this portion. And then this also has leather on the back as well. And this just kind of clips in place with a magnet. So we'll put our phone inside the case here. First we'll take a look at the case. So the case feels good in the hand. It does have a smooth rubbery type feel to it. As far as the buttons, buttons are clicky easily pressable. And the one thing about these buttons is they do not come off the case very much at all. So it might be a little bit hard to find because they don't come off the case very much. Just something to keep in mind. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk. We got our volume buttons and our action button on the side, cutouts on the bottom, our power button and our camera button here, a cutout. On the back, it is covered in leather. This does have MagSafe built in, and we have a slight raised edge to protect our camera lenses. Now this portion of the case does have MagSafe built in, but the Folio does not. So if you want to wirelessly charge your phone, you're going to need to take the phone off of the Folio portion to charge it up. So we'll test out the MagSafe. Got a pretty nice hold, charges immediately, and again it's got a sufficient enough MagSafe hold so the MagSafe accessory isn't just going to fall off your phone. So now let's take a look at the Folio portion. So again, we'll just kind of put this on and it clips right onto the back of the case. Let's see, we can put our cards in here. And they're in there pretty good. You don't have to worry about these just falling out, but you can easily access them if you need to just kind of slide them up. So that's pretty nice. Let's close it up. And there you go. Now the little magnet that holds the Folio closed does seem to hold the Folio closed enough, but if you pull slightly on the front, it just kind of comes out. It's definitely not the strongest hold, but the magnet seems strong enough to hold it closed so it's not going to just flop open. And just to show you, if you want to wirelessly charge your case, again, it's not going to work just with regular wireless charging. You're going to have to take the case out to charge it up wirelessly if you want to. Or you can also just plug it in wired. And if you want to fold this underneath the phone and hold it with one hand, you can do that as well and still have access to the camera and power buttons. And then here we have a case that exceeds military grade drop testing by XBASE. This is their Boulder case, and it's been drop tested up to 15 feet. And here we have the case. As you can see, it does have MagSafe built in. It's totally surrounded in a nice rubbery type material. It also comes with this nice belt clip that you can rotate 360 degrees. If you want to take the case out, you just kind of lift up on the clip and then pull out from the front. It also has a nice soft kind of felt material on the inside of the case as well. Here is the case. This is also a two-piece design. It does have an inner shell that comes out, and then it goes in surrounding this nice rubbery type material. And as you can see, it's really not that thick either. On the inside of the case, it's got this really nice soft kind of foam to help with drop protection as well. And the way that we get this out is we kind of peel back one of the corners, and then you can kind of work out that inner plastic shell. Just like this. So then you're going to take this whole piece here, we're going to put it over our phone. Just kind of press that into place. And then we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to put it back inside the outer shell and then just press it back into place. Just work your way around the edges here. And you're all set. Feels really good in the hand. It's got some really good grip to it. As far as the buttons, buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. Another thing about this case is the buttons are almost flush with the case. So it might be, again, a little hard to try to find these buttons. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a nice raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. And it's not super bulky either. We've got some texturing on the sides along with our volume and action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom, and this also does have a covered charging port. And then on the other side, we have the texture with our power button and a big cutout for our camera button. On the back, again, it's got that nice rubbery type material. We've got MagSafe built in and a slight raised edge to protect our camera lenses. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips right onto the back, charges the phone immediately. And this has got a pretty good strong hold on the back as well. Again, you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off the phone. So now let's test out our camera button. So you can very easily press that because of the large cutout. Let's test out our touch. Touch working pretty good. It's nice and smooth. The only thing with this case is because it's a little bit more bulky and there's so much of an edge here, you will have to try to get your finger around this big bump to kind of touch into the camera button, but it can be done. So if you have smaller fingers, this might be a little bit harder for you. And then you can also get the Boulder series case without the belt clip if you don't need it. And here it is in a green color. And then here we have SUPCASE's Mag Stand case. The interesting thing about this case is it does have a metal kickstand on the back that also doubles for MagSafe. It does have a nice firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type edge. So before you put your phone in, you're going to want to remove these little plastic covers that they have to protect the phone before you actually get it. The inner one is a little bit harder to take out. And then there's also one on the outside as well, but we can put our phone inside the case now. Feels good in hand. It does have a good grip to it as far as the buttons goes. Nice and clicky, easily pressable. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone, so you get to see how much of a raised edge you still get without that tempered glass. You can also see how it keeps the phone fairly slim, and you get to see how thick this back plate actually is. We also have some extra little reinforcements in the corners to help with drop protection. We've got our lanyard hole, our separated volume buttons, and a textured action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. On the other side, we have our power button, and we also have that cover for our camera button as well that has these little conductors to help with touch. We'll test that out in just a minute. On the back, shows off the color of your phone. Nice and clear. And again, we do have this metal kickstand that comes out very easily. And you can use your phone in a portrait or a landscape mode in case you want to watch some Netflix. This does not rotate, but it folds right back into the case, nice and flush. And we also do have a pretty good raised edge for our camera protection as well. So now let's test out our MagSafe on the back. We do have a MagSafe power bank here. Clips nice and strong on the back. Charges your phone immediately. And it's got a pretty good strong hold on the back as well, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just coming off. The only thing that you will have to worry about with this is because of the back MagSafe ring is a kickstand, your accessory can bring up that kickstand a little bit, just like that. But other than that, it's got a pretty good hold on the back of the phone. And again, I do like the fact that it is a solid metal and it doesn't just flop around. It pretty much stays in any position you're going to be putting it in. So now let's test out the camera button. So for accessing the camera, you can very easily press it with your finger, and because it sticks out from the case, it makes it easier to find. Very nice. Now let's test out those touch gestures. And the touch seems to be working really well also. And no issues there. It's not exactly the same as the button, but it's pretty close. As you can see, it's working just fine. Very nice. I do like that camera button because it instead of it being a cutout, it actually protrudes like a regular button does from the case. And then here we have the SUPCASE UB Mag case. This is another clear backed case with MagSafe built in. It also does have a camera button as well. Nice hard plastic back surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. This also has a plastic cover that you need to remove before you put your phone in it. So put our phone inside the case. Feels good in the hand. Now this case is not grippy. It does have a smooth plastic rubber type feel to it. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our screen. On the side here, we have our lanyard holes and our accented buttons, which are separate from the case, which I absolutely love. Little textured action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button on the side, along with that camera button. We'll test that out in just a minute. On the back, take off that cover. This also has MagSafe built in, but it's got a nice clear back to show off the color of your phone. And we have a plastic camera ring for protection there too. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips right onto the back. Starts to charge your phone. And it's got a pretty good strong hold on the case as well. You definitely don't have to worry about your phone coming off the MagSafe accessory either. It's got a really nice strong hold. Very nice. Now as far as the camera button on the side, you can very easily access your camera. Let's test out our touch gestures. Seems to be working just fine. Again, it's not as good as the button on the phone, but it's close. And the reason why I like it is because it protrudes out from the phone instead of it being like recessed. It just makes it a lot easier to find and to press. Another really nice case. And then here we have the SUPCASE MagXT case. This is definitely a more rugged case, better for drop protection. It also has a metal camera cover that also acts as a kickstand, and we have MagSafe built in. It's got a nice hard plastic backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material, and the inside just feels like a smooth plastic. So this case feels really good in the hand. It's got some texture on the sides to help with grip. Buttons, super easy to press, very easy to find. I love it. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of our screen. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. We do have those very aggressive reinforcements in the corners to help with drop protection. Got the texturing on the side here. The carbon fiber inlay, our separated volume buttons. I love it. It feels so good. We have our action button on the side. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We also have a covered charging port as well. Some lanyard holes. We have that same kind of texturing on the sides with the carbon fiber inlay. We have our power button. We have a cutout for our camera button, which we will test out. On the back, shows off like a metallic kind of look, color on the back. Again, it is a hard plastic, and we have MagSafe built in. And here we have our metal camera cover that is kind of stuck on the inside, so you don't have to worry about it just coming out, and it pretty much stays wherever you want to put it. It's a very solid metal, and it's got a soft kind of felt material on the inside, so it won't scratch your lenses, and you can also push this pretty much all the way back so it's flat. And then you can see how much of a raised edge we get for our camera protection. Very nice. And then the cover just folds flush right back into the case. And then again, like I mentioned, you can also use this cover as a kickstand, so you can kind of angle it more towards your face. Very sturdy, stays in pretty much any orientation you're going to put it, or you can also use it in a like a portrait mode, kind of laying down towards your face. Love that option. Really nice protective case, and again, it doesn't make your phone super bulky. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, immediately starts to charge your phone, and again, it's got a nice strong hold on the back of the case, so you don't have to worry about the MagSafe accessory just coming off. It's really got a nice strong hold. That's not coming off. Very nice. This is definitely got to be one of my favorite SUPCASE cases, because it offers a lot of really good protection, but it keeps the phone fairly slim. And it also comes in different colors as well. And in case you're wondering, you can also use regular wireless charging with this case and other SUPCASE cases as well. And then here we have the SUPCASE UB Pro case. This is SUPCASE's most protective case. It's got a kickstand on the back. It does not have MagSafe built in, but just like all of other SUPCASE's cases, this is also military grade drop tested, and it's got a built-in plastic screen protector. It also comes with this really nice belt clip that has a clip that rotates 360 degrees. And you can also put the phone inside the belt clip two ways, with the face in so it's protected, or you can also put it in facing outward so you can see all your notifications. Now this is also a two-piece design case. It's got an inner plastic core surrounded by another like outer shell that's got a nice strong rubber and a hard plastic on the back. So the way that you want to take this out is you want to kind of peel back the outer cover from this little corner here. Let's see if we can do this with our thumbs. Nope. So if you have like a hard plastic pick or something like that, you can kind of get it in here and peel away the outer shell and then pull out the inner portion just like that. So before we put this over our phone, you want to make sure that you thoroughly clean off your screen so there's no fingerprints or dust, because it will be trapped inside the case. So once your phone is cleaned off, you want to peel out the inner protector and then put this whole thing over your phone, starting with the camera side. And you just press down the other portion so it'll look just like this. And then take this whole thing and then press it inside your case. Then just go around the edges, making sure the case is in place. Then you can peel off your top protector. And you're all set. So now your phone is covered 360 degrees. Case feels good in the hand. It's got a rubbery type material on the side with some texture. Buttons are also nice and clicky, very easily pressable, and you've got that really large cutout for your camera button. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. And again, we also have that plastic screen protector on the front. It does add a little bit of extra thickness to the phone, but you are getting some really good drop protection. Here on the side, you can see that texturing with our volume buttons and our textured action button. On the bottom, we have our cutouts, we have our covered charging port, lanyard hole on the side. We have our texture and the textured power button with that large cutout for the camera button. On the back, it does have a hard backing, again with this plastic kickstand that very easily pops out like that. So you can use the phone in a landscape or a portrait mode. And I also love the fact that they have it angled so the phone is more angled towards your face. And then it very easily clips right into the back of the case. We have that carbon fiber inlay and a nice raised edge to protect your cameras. Again, this doesn't have MagSafe, but you can use this with regular wireless charging. So let's look at our screen protector here. You can see it does have a cutout for our camera. And as far as touch working perfectly fine. No issues there. You can see it is crystal clear. It does have some resistance to it when you're running your finger over it because it's not glass, it is plastic. And then let's see what the screen looks like as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So you can see that it does have a slight rainbow effect, but really not bad at all. Not nearly as bad as some of the other tempered glass. And then for our camera's nice and clear. You can easily see everything right through it. Now as far as fingerprints goes, it does pick up some slight fingerprints, which you can see on the screen there. But you can pretty easily wipe them away depending on how dirty your fingers are. Now as far as the camera button on the side, you can very easily access that because the cutout is so large. And then as far as the gesturing does seem to be working just fine. The only thing is because the sides are so big, you kind of have to get your finger around this edge to kind of dip into the button here. It's not horrible, but if you have small hands, it might be a little hard to reach this button. But as far as touch, it does seem to be working just fine. And then like I mentioned before, you can put it in your case two different ways. I typically recommend to put the screen in so it's totally covered. So if you want the most protective case that SUPCASE offers, I would definitely recommend getting the UB Pro. And then here we have a case by CAUDABE. This is the Veil. If you absolutely love the way that your phone feels without a case on it, but you want to add a little bit of protection, the CAUDABE Veil is definitely going to be for you. So here is the case. It does have a nice frosted backing along with the edges. And as you can see, it is super thin, it's super light. And the thing that CAUDABE does that some of the other case makers don't do is they make it a full coverage case. There's no cutouts on the sides for your button. It's actually a full coverage case, but it's super thin and light. The other major difference between this case and other case makers that make cases just like this is CAUDABE adds these little texture dots onto the sides. You may think that it's not going to add a huge difference, but it actually does, especially when you're holding it in your hand. So let's put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone perfectly, feels excellent in the hand. It's got some nice little grippy knobs on the side, again to help with grip, so it's not going to just slide right out of your hand. Feels really good. And as far as the buttons goes, CAUDABE makes cutouts for each one of the buttons. So you're actually touching the button on the side of the phone, which is really nice feeling. Very easily pressable because again, you're pressing the button on the actual phone. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that this case does have a slight raised edge around the front. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone, so this is the most edge that you're going to get. But as you can see, it keeps the phone super slim and also slightly shows the phone's color right through the case. I really like the way that these buttons stand out rather, with their color. And as you can see here, again, the little texture dots on the side of the case. Got our cutouts for our volume buttons and our action button. On the bottoms, we have our cutouts precisely for the mic and the speaker, and a nice charging cutout for the charging port. On the other side, again, we have those nice texture dots with cutouts for our power button and the camera button. On the back, it's got that nice frosted texture feel on the back, so it's not going to show fingerprints, but again, you can still see the color of your phone. Looks really nice. And we do have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. Beautiful case, really nice. Let's test out the camera button. So you can very easily access that with one finger. And as far as the touch gesture goes, touch gesture's working perfectly fine. No issues there. Because again, you're actually touching the button on the phone. Very nice. And you can also wirelessly charge right through this case because it is super thin. So if you like the way that your phone feels in your hand without a case on it, the CAUDABE Veil is definitely going to be the case for you. And the case is also on your phone really good. It's not going to just fall off. You actually have to really press in these corners to try to get the case off. So you don't have to worry about the case popping off the phone unless you really wanted to. And then here we have the CAUDABE Sheath case. And I have to tell you, this is by far my favorite CAUDABE case. And I think it should be in everybody's case rotation. If you want to keep your phone nice and protected, but keep your phone pretty slim, this is definitely a case I would take a look at. It's got this really cool kind of texture all the way around the phone, so it gives it a nice grip in the hand, but it also keeps the phone pretty slim. And it's got these really nice premium metal buttons on the side. Really look sharp on the case. We also have a microfiber cloth on the inside to help keep your phone from getting all scratched up, and it's got Magsafe built in. So let's put our phone inside the case. Fits the phone like a glove, and it feels great in the hand. I also love the way that these buttons feel. They're very easily pressable, nice and clicky, and they protrude just enough from the case so you can easily find them. Absolutely love this case. Why more case makers don't make this texture all the way around the case, I won't know, but CAUDABE's really the only case maker that I've seen that actually makes a case like this, and I absolutely love it. So if we take a look from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. And again, you can also see how slim it also keeps your phone. You can see that really nice texture all the way around the phone itself. We've got these separated metal volume buttons and action button on the side. I absolutely love that. On the bottom, we've got our cutouts. On the other side, we've got our power button and a cutout for our camera button, which we will test in just a minute. And on the back, again, it's got that really nice subtle texture. So it's not going to show fingerprints, scratches, anything like that on the case. It should stay looking pretty new, unless maybe you take a knife or a grinder to it. But for everyday use, it should hold up really well. And again, we have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. Super nice case. Actually, I love this case. And it's actually the case that I've been using on my iPhone 16 Pro Max as well. Really great case, no joke. Definitely check it out. And again, this also does have Magsafe built in, so we'll test out our Magsafe on the back. It's got a nice strong hold, and it starts to charge your phone immediately. And again, you don't have to worry about your Magsafe accessory falling off because the magnet on the back of this case is pretty strong. Love it. And if you don't happen to have a Magsafe charger, you can also use it with regular wireless charging as well. So now that we've taken a look at the case, now let's test out the cutout for our camera. So let's access that with my one finger. Easily access it because it's got like a nice little cutout so you can easily find it. And then let's test out the touch gestures. So the gestures seem to be working perfectly fine. No, I don't want Siri. Let's do our zoom. It's got a nice perfect little cutout where your finger just ever so slightly rests right on top of the camera button. Beautiful. Again, really nice case. And I also have this in a blue as well. And then here it is in a blue. Looks really nice. Same great quality, same aluminum blue accented buttons on the side. It makes the case feel so premium. Again, feels really nice in the hand because of that slight texture all the way around the phone. Nice blue button, just subtle enough to stick out from the case itself. Very nice. And then here we have the BODYGUARDZ Accent case. This has been drop tested up to 18 feet. So as you can see, this is a totally clear case. We have Magsafe built in, and it comes with this nice little lanyard on the back. You can also remove this if you don't want the lanyard on there. It does have a firm hard back surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. Goes in the case pretty good. It does have a little bit of grip as well, and the buttons on the side are easily pressable, nice and clicky. The only thing about these buttons is they are totally flush with the case. So it might be a little hard for you to actually find them if you're not actually looking at the phone yourself, like if it's in your pocket or something like that. Now if we take a look at the screen, now if we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a very slight raised edge around the front of the phone. On the side here, you can see our separated volume buttons and our action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and a cutout for the camera button on the side. On the back, it is nice and clear. We've got Magsafe built in, and it has a slight raised edge to protect your camera lenses. So let's test out the Magsafe. Magsafe works pretty good, charges your phone immediately. And it does have a okay magnetic hold on the back of the case. It's not the strongest that I've felt, but it should keep your Magsafe accessory on the back. It's just, again, it's not the strongest. Now let's test out our camera button. So you can pretty easily access that camera button. It is kind of deep inside the case, so you're gonna have to press your finger actually inside the hole a little more to actually get to that button. Let's test out our touch gestures. So it does seem to be working pretty good. Again, because it is a little deep, you're gonna have to press a little harder than normal to get to that button, but it does seem like it's workable. Would have been nicer if this cutout was a little bit more shallow. You can kind of see how deep it is. So I'm not sure why BODYGUARDZ actually opted to go with buttons like this that were actually exactly flush with the case, because they're pretty hard to find. You're not going to have a very easy time trying to find these buttons unless you're actually looking at the phone and you see where they actually are. It would have been nice if these would have protruded out from the case a little bit, and then the camera button is pretty deep inside. Again, it would have been nicer if this was a lot shallower. And then here we have the BODYGUARDZ Ace Pro case. This case has been drop tested up to 18 feet and has Magsafe built in. So as you can see, it's kind of like a smoked clear. It does have a pretty flexible material all the way around the case, and the edge here is like a slight rubbery type material, and it does have Magsafe built in with that lanyard. Goes in the phone pretty easily. This case is not grippy. It does have a little bit of like some dimples on the side, but it doesn't really help out with grip. It just has a smooth plastic type feel to it. And just like the Accent, the buttons on this case they're flush with the side of the case, but they are very clicky and easily pressable. It's just going to be like you're not going to be able to find them very easily because the whole case feels exactly the same. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. You can see those little dimples on the side here, but it doesn't do anything for grip. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have those same little textures on the side. We have our flush power button with a cutout for the camera button. And this camera button, again, seems to be pretty deep inside the case. So we're probably going to run into the same issue. As you can see, it's got that clear smoked backing, so you can kind of see the color of your phone. We have our MagSafe, and we have a pretty decent raised edge for our cameras. Let's test out our MagSafe again. Charges your phone, no issue. As far as the hold, again, just like the Accent, it's not as strong as some of the other cases that I've tested. It will just keep your MagSafe accessory on your phone, but if it rocks around too much, it might fall off. But it should be good enough to hold your MagSafe accessory if the phone is not moving around. And then again, let's test out that camera button. So because it is pretty deep in your phone, you're going to have to get your finger inside there to press the button, but it can be done. And let's test out the touch again. So it does seem to be working, but again, because it is so deep, you're going to have to press your finger a little bit deeper down inside that hole to access your touch gestures. Yeah. So not a horrible case, but again, just like the Accent, I kind of wish that they would have made the buttons protrude off of the case so you can kind of feel where they are a lot easier. Maybe make some better texture to actually give the phone some grip. And then for the cutout, make it a little more shallow so you can easily press that button instead of having to get your finger down inside there. And here we have the RINGKE Fusion clear case. So here is the case itself. It does have MagSafe built in. It's got a firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type edge, and it does have these protectors on the outside and the inside that you want to take off before you put your phone inside the case. Fits the phone pretty good. Feels good in the hand. It does have a little bit of a grip to it. As far as the buttons goes, buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable, and they do come off the case a little bit so you can easily find them. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we have in the front of our phone. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone either. Keeps the phone pretty slim. We do have these little airbags in the corners for some drop protection. We have a lanyard hole, our separated volume buttons, and our action button. We have our cutouts in the bottom, power button, and a cutout for the camera button on the other side, along with another lanyard hole on the back. It's got that nice frosted look, but it still shows off the color of your phone. And because it is frosted, it keeps down our fingerprints. We have MagSafe here and a pretty good raised edge around our camera lenses. Pretty nice, simple, clear case. And let's test out our MagSafe. We've got our MagSafe power bank here. Clips onto the back pretty strong, starts to charge your phone, and it's got a pretty good hold on the MagSafe accessory. You definitely don't have to worry about it just falling off. It's on there pretty good. Let's test out our camera button. You can very easily access the button. Let's test out our touch gestures. And it seems to be working pretty good. It is a shallow cutout, so you can very easily still access that button from the side. You can see how kind of shallow it is, so you can very easily still access it. And then here we have the RINGKE Onyx case. So here is the case. It is pretty light. It's made of a kind of flexible type material. We got a nice subtle texture on the back as well. There are no firm edges on this case at all. It's just a very simple type case. Fits the phone nicely, feels good in the hand. It does have a little bit of a texture on the side to help with grip. As far as the buttons, they're okay. They're not super easy to press, and they don't come off the side of the phone that much either. So it might be a little bit hard to find which button you're actually pressing. Now, if you take a look at the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of the phone. There's more of a raised edge on the top and more on the bottom. Not so much in the edge, so you can easily swipe from the sides. It also keeps your phone fairly slim. You can see we have that texturing on the side here, our volume buttons and our action button. We have some kind of reinforcements in the corners for drop protection as well. Cutouts on the bottom. Power button and cutout for our camera button on the side. We have our lanyard holes. On the back, again, it's got that nice subtle texture, so it's not going to show fingerprints or really scratches. We do have a full, kind of like a full coverage protector around our camera lenses. You can see it's got these individual raised bumps that come up over the lenses themselves, and it actually fills in the portion in between the cameras too. Pretty nice case. Now, this does not have MagSafe built in, but you can still use it with regular wireless charging. Let's test out our camera button. Easily access that. Let's test out our touch. And again, it's a shallow cutout, so you can very easily still touch the button if you really need to. And then here we have a RINKE Onyx case with MagSafe built in. So here is the case. Again, it does have a nice subtle texturing on the back. And on the inside, we do have MagSafe built in. It's a fairly light case as well. Feels good in the hand. It does have some texture on the side to help with grip. As far as the buttons goes, again, like the action button on the side is not very clicky. It's a little bit mushy, and the volume buttons could be a little bit better as well, but you can still press them. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see we got a raised edge around the top and the bottom, not so much in the middle, so you can easily swipe back and forth. Still keeps your phone fairly slim as well. We have the texturing on the side, volume buttons, and our action button, and those reinforcements in the corners as well. Cutouts in the bottom. We have lanyard holes on each side, the texturing with our power button and the cutout for our camera button. And on the back, it's got that nice subtle type of texture that doesn't show any fingerprints or maybe even some light scratches. And we do have a pretty much a full coverage camera protector on the back where it fills in between the lenses, and each individual lens gets their own raised little bump here. Now, this does have MagSafe built in, so we'll test out our MagSafe power bank. Clips onto the back, charges immediately, and it's got a pretty good strong hold on the case as well, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off either. It's pretty nice. Then here we have the RINKE Fusion X case in a camo. And here is the case. Now, this is one of my more favorite cases because it does offer your phone some more protection while keeping it fairly slim. And it also has this really cool pattern, camo pattern on the back, but it's still slightly clear so you can see the color of your phone. There is also a protector that you need to remove that's on the inside of the case. So do that before you put your phone inside the case. This does have a firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material on the sides. Let's get out the sticker. We'll put our phone inside the case. Fits the phone perfectly, feels good in the hand. It does have some texturing on the side. Buttons nice and clicky, easily pressable, which I love. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a raised edge on the top and the bottom of the case. Not so much in the middle again to help with swiping. Now you can see that it does add a little bit of extra bulk to kind of where the camera portion of the phone is, but it's got some really nice texturing, so you can easily find those buttons on the side and as well as hold the case. We've got our volume buttons here, our textured action button, which is slightly oversized, and you can see that the volume buttons are kind of on an angle, but they do stick out from the case. On the bottom we have our cutouts, also some aggressive reinforcements in the corners to help with drop protection. On the other side, again, we've got that slight texturing. We have our serrated power button, so you can easily press and find that. A nice cutout for our camera button. And on the back, again, it's got that nice camo color, so you can very easily see the pattern now because I have the titanium iPhone. It does have a slight texturing to it. We do have a full covering for our camera. We have a really raised edge around those camera lenses as well for some extra protection, and it also kind of fills in between the camera lenses too. And we have these little knobs that kind of come up off the phone, so when you put your phone on its back and you're typing, it's not going to rock around, and it makes it a little easier to pick up actually. Very nice case. This case also does not have MagSafe built in, but you can wirelessly charge right through the case. This is one of my favorite RINKE cases because it does offer your phone some more protection, and it also feels really good in the hand. So now let's test out our camera button. So you can easily press that with one finger. And let's test out our touch. Again, this has a shallow cutout, so you can still very easily touch that button if you need to. Very nice case. And then here we have the same Fusion X case, but in a clear color. Same great protection, it just has a totally clear back to show off the color of your phone. And then here we have the RINKE Fusion Bold case. This case does have a very firm, hard backing surrounded by a kind of rubbery type edge. It also has a protector on the inside and the outside that you want to remove before we put the phone inside the case. So we'll just remove this. We'll put our phone inside the case. Does feel good in the hand. It does have some texturing on the sides. As far as buttons, buttons are easily pressable, nice and clicky. The action button is slightly harder to press. Just a little bit mushy. But other than that, if we take a look at the phone from the side, you can see it's got a nice raised edge on the top and the bottom of the case. On the sides, it's got that texturing along with our separated volume buttons and our action button. Some reinforcements in the edges as well. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. On the other side, we have that same texturing with the power button and a cutout for our camera. And on the back, nice and clear to show off the color of your phone, and we do have a nice raised edge around our camera lenses as well. So this is kind of like the RINKE Fusion clear case, but it's got the black borders, clear backing, and this one actually has texturing unlike the regular Fusion. You can also use this with a regular wireless charging as well. So let's test out our camera button. You can easily press that. And then we'll test out our gestures. The cutout is fairly shallow on this as well, so you can still very easily access that button. Yeah, no problems there. So another really nice, simple, clear case. And then here we have a super slim, light, thin, minimalist case by TAC. So here is the case in kind of a smoke color. Now, when I said this case is super thin, I meant super thin, and it's also feather light. It is made of a pretty firm plastic. And unlike some of the other minimalist cases, the ones from TAC actually have full coverage. So you don't have those large cutouts like you do on some of the other cases on like the sides and the bottom. So we'll put our phone inside the case. So it fits the phone perfectly, feels good in the hand. It doesn't have any grip to it, but it's not super slippery either. It just has a smooth plastic type feel to it. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. Now I don't also have a tempered glass screen protector on the front of my phone, so you're getting to see exactly how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone as well. So if you were to put a screen protector on here, it would pretty much either be flush with the case or a little bit above. But as you can see, it keeps the phone super slim. It's pretty much as thin as it is without a case on it. Here we have our volume button on the side and our action button. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our cutout for our camera button on the side. We'll test that out in just a minute. On the back, shows off the color of your phone. It's got a kind of a smooth matte look to it, so it keeps down those fingerprints. And we also have a full coverage protector around our cameras as well. So you can see how it actually fills in the spaces between the cameras. So it gives a little bit of a more protective edge. Pretty nice. Now this case doesn't have MagSafe built in, but they give you a little magnetic sticker that you can actually either put on the back of the case, maybe even underneath. We'll test it out in just a second. So let's test out that camera button. So you can easily access that camera button. There's just a very slight cutout for your camera button here, so you can easily access the side. So again, let's access our camera and then we'll test out the touch gestures. So the touch gestures are working as intended. No problems there. Yeah, because it is because the cutout is so shallow, you can still very easily press in that button. It's pretty nice. So first let's put the ring underneath the case, which I'm assuming won't work very well because the case is so thin, but we're going to test it out anyway. And it does seem to fit perfectly fine. Buttons still work great. I don't see any real bulge in the case, just maybe ever so slight right here. Let's test out our MagSafe. MagSafe working perfectly fine as well. Now the only thing is it doesn't have a super strong hold on your MagSafe when it's underneath the case, but it does still seem to work perfectly fine with wireless charging. So if you don't want to put this on the outside of your case, but you have a little puck like this, it'll still work. Or if you have a non-MagSafe charger, you can also use that as well. Now let's put the sticker on the outside of the case and we'll see if we get a different kind of feel for it. So again, this does have a sticker, so it kind of brings it into place where it needs to be. Let's peel off that sticker. And then we'll kind of place this on the back of our phone. Just like that, and then press it into place. So now let's try out that MagSafe accessory again. Charges your phone without any issues, and it's got a nice strong hold on the back of the phone, so you don't have to worry about it just falling off. So it definitely works a lot better on the outside of the case. So if you want to add MagSafe, you can just add this simple magnetic ring right to the back of the case. And then here we have that same case in a matte clear. It also comes with a white MagSafe, a magnetic ring to put on the back of the case. Again, same case, super light, very thin. Let's put our phone inside the case here. Fits the phone perfectly, feels good in the hand. And you can see more of the color of your phone instead of it being in that smoked black. And you can kind of see all the camera coverage protection we get on the back there. I definitely like the clear matte case better because I like to see the color of my phone the way that it is, not behind smoked frosted. But let me know what you guys think. Would you rather have the frosted black or the clear frosted? Let me know in the comments below. So again, if you like the feel of your phone, but you want to add a little bit more protection than what the phone itself can actually offer, TAC has a really nice case here. And I do like the fact that it is also full coverage, just like a regular case, but it's super light and super thin. And here we have ESR's soft case with stash stand. This case has also been military grade drop tested and has MagSafe built in. So here is the case, and it's kind of like a silicone type feeling case. We've got this MagSafe kind of texture on the back, looks pretty cool. We do have a metal camera ring that also doubles as a kickstand. It does have a nice firm backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. On the inside, it does have a felt kind of material that helps keep your phone free from scratching. Feels good in the hand. It's not really grippy. It's got kind of like a smooth silicone type feel to it, but it's not really slippery. Now for the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable, and I like the fact that they protrude off the case a good amount so you can easily find them and feel which button you're actually pressing. Now if we take a look at it from the side, you can see it does have a raised edge around the front of the phone. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on here. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. We've got our separated volume button on the side and our action button. Cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button here and a cutout for our camera button. On the back again, it's got that nice smooth silicone type feel that does not show any fingerprints. And we also have this raised metal ring around our cameras, and it also comes out and acts as a kickstand, so you can use it in a landscape, or you can even kind of lay it down in a portrait mode as well. And it folds right back up into the case very easily. Really solid. I wish every case manufacturer had this on their phone. So let's test out the MagSafe. Here we have our MagSafe power bank. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it's got a pretty nice strong hold on the case as well. You definitely don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. It's on there pretty good. Pretty nice case so far. So let's test out this little cutout for our camera. So you can very easily press that in with your finger. It's a little kind of off because there's nothing on the front stopping your finger from pressing the little camera button. You just have to kind of get over this little bump on the bottom here to actually get to it. It probably would have been even better to maybe totally make this cutout flush with the phone, but you can see how much of a bump there is that you have to kind of get your finger over to kind of find that camera button. It's not horrible, but it's just something to keep in mind. Now let's test out our touch gestures. Now since you are totally touching the button and there's no cutout on the front, it is pretty easy to actually swipe your finger. Again, I just kind of wish that they would have made this little back piece here more flush with the phone, because then you're actually, you know, having to touch the button totally without hitting that little bump on the back. So really not a bad case. I do like the way that it feels. I love the stash stand on the back. The only gripe that I have with this case is this little cutout for your camera. Again, this bump in the back makes it a little bit awkward to press in the button because your finger kind of wants to go more towards the front, but you're actually trying to get in the middle of the button to press it, and there's this bump here. If they would have just made this a whole cutout flush with the phone, I think it would have been a lot better. And then here we have ESR's hybrid case with stash stand. So here is the case. It does have a nice frosted backing that is nice and smooth, keeps down the fingerprints. We've got MagSafe built in. It also has a metal camera ring on the back. It also has a firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. Fits the phone really well. Feels good in the hand. It's not grippy, but it does feel kind of like a smooth type rubber. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. They also protrude off the case a good amount, so you can very easily find them. If we look at the case from the side, we do have a nice raised edge around the front of the phone. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. We have our little airbags in the corners to help with drop protection. Our separated volume buttons and our action button. Cutouts on the bottom. Our power button on the side, along with the cutout for our camera button. And on the back, again, it's got a frosted backing to kind of show off the color of your phone. Looks really nice, feels nice and smooth. And we also, again, do that metal camera ring around our cameras that also easily opens up to act as a kickstand. So you can lay it down in a portrait mode or even a landscape. And it easily folds right back up into the case without any issue. So now let's test out that camera cutout. It is pretty shallow, so it should work pretty well. You can easily press it in with one finger. Let's test out our touch gestures. So you can very easily access the button. Gestures seem to be working just fine. Yeah, working pretty good. And your finger just fits perfectly within this little well here. I do really like this case. I like the frosted backing. I love the metal stash stand on the back. The only thing I wish they would have done with this case is maybe put some texturing to help with grip a little bit. Then here we have ESR's Tough Case. So here is the case. Now this case does come with a built-in tempered glass screen protector. It's got some rear camera protectors, and it's got MagSafe built in, and this happens to be a totally clear case. So if you want to protect your phone 360 degrees, this case is definitely going to be for you. Now this is a two-piece design case which has the inner plastic with the tempered glass screen protector. We need to pull that out, so you're going to push back the case in this bottom corner here to expose the inner core. We'll just pull that out. And here we have our rear camera protectors with some wipes. So first we're going to install our camera protectors. So just take your alcohol wipe and clean off the lenses really good. Then dry them off. Then take your lens protectors. Make sure you have them in the orientation that your lenses are in. As you can see, the two little cutouts for the sensors are on the side. So just make sure those are lined up properly, just like this. Then peel off the underside. Just press this over the top of your lenses. Press it into place. And then just peel up the guide and you're all set. So there, as you can see, we have our protectors on our lenses, and it doesn't add any extra raised edge to our lenses either. It looks pretty stock. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to clean off your screen on your phone really well, because we don't want anything trapped underneath the screen when we put it inside of our case. Then dry it off. Then we're going to take the front portion of our case. We're going to peel off the number 2 on the inside, and then put this whole thing over the top of our phone, press it into place just like that. Then take this whole thing and we're going to put it into the outer shell of the case and press it into place. And once that's in there, you can peel off the number 1. So the case does have a good grip to it, feels good in the hand. As far as the buttons, they're a little bit harder to press, not as clicky as some of the other cases, but they do still work. Now if you take a look at the case from the side, you can see we do have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. We do have some pretty thick reinforcements in the corners of the phone for some drop protection. It does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone as well. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button on the side. cutouts in the bottom. We also do have a covered speaker port and a microphone, so no dust gets in there. We have our power button and a cutout for our camera button on the back. It is got a clear backing to show off the color of your phone. It does pick up some fingerprints. We have our MagSafe built in and our slight raised edge around our cameras. So it looks pretty nice. Let's test out our MagSafe. Pretty good strong hold on the back. Charges your phone. And the MagSafe accessories on there pretty good. It's got a really nice strong hold, so you definitely don't have to worry about your phone just coming off the MagSafe accessory. Now again, we do have the tempered glass on the front. It is a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover cameras and everything on your phone. But it does look nice and clear. As far as fingerprints, it does pick up very slight fingerprints, not horrible at all, and you can very easily just wipe those away. Let's take a look at our camera. Camera looks nice and clear. Don't see any issues there, and it also works fine with your Face ID as well. Now, one interesting thing about this case is it does look like it's got a much thicker corner up in the right top corner than it does in the left. I'm not sure what that's about, but you can see it's kind of bulkier over here than it is over here. It's kind of interesting. Now let's see if the screen has any sort of rainbow effect. And you can see that it's got a pretty bad rainbow effect depending on how you look at your phone. But if you're looking at it dead on, it's going to be slight. But depending on how you look at it, if you twist and turn it, the rainbow does seem to get worse. And as far as touch, feels pretty smooth, just like the glass on the phone. Everything seems to be working just fine. No issues there. And then let's test out how the screen protector actually covers our phone. So let's open up our camera. And I can still see the little white corner edges in all four corners of the screen. So the screen protector shouldn't cover any important portions of your screen. And if you're wondering about the covers on the mic and the speaker, those don't have any effect on recording either. So I'm going to record my voice and I'll play it back so you guys can hear. So this is just a test of recording my voice because the microphone has a little speaker grill over the mic as well as the speaker. So we're going to play this back and see how it sounds. So this is just a test of recording my voice because the microphone has a little speaker grill over the mic as well as the speaker. So we're going to play this back and see how it sounds. So it still sounds really clear and loud. So these little covers on the speaker and the microphone don't seem to have any interference at all. Now let's test out our rear cameras. Rear camera looks pretty good. Nice and clear. Don't see any issues with those rear lenses. And as you can see, they fit perfectly inside this case. They're pretty flush with the raised edge on the back as well. And then here we have the ESR Pro case protection set. This comes with removable buttons as well as a screen protector. So here's what the set looks like. We've got our case here, which is just simply a frosted kind of black border case with MagSafe. Here we have an installation tray for our tempered glass. Here we have some extra colored buttons, installation wipes, and here is our temper. So the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean up our screen with the alcohol wipe, then dry it off. Then take your installation guide and just place it over the top of your phone. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the sticker is on the underside of the glass. We're going to peel off the bottom just like that, and then place this whole thing just inside the guide. And then just run your finger down the middle. And it should start to adhere to your phone, but it does look like it's kind of stuck on the guide. So I'm going to have to remove the guide and then the bubbles should kind of disappear. So I'll lift this up. And as you can see, it is starting to adhere to the bottom of the phone. We do still have some bubbles kind of right here, as you can see. So I'm going to lift up the screen a little bit to kind of get those out. So we take a look at the screen protector. It looks like a pretty good installation. Did have some couple bubbles in the bottom here that I just kind of pushed out with my finger. So this is a full coverage screen protector. It does cover your cameras and sensors, but it does have a pretty good gap all the way around the phone for case compatibility. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to pick up some fingerprints on the screen, but you can very easily just wipe those away. As far as touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It is also nice and clear. Let's test out our camera. Camera's also nice and clear, no issues there. And then let's see if the screen has any rainbow effect. So as you can see, it is pretty bad. Even looking at it dead on, that's what you're looking at for your screen if you're using polarized sunglasses. And it just gets worse if you twist and turn the screen. So now let's see how much of the screen protector actually covers the edge of the screen. And it looks like I can still easily see the little white corners of the camera. So it doesn't seem to cover any important parts of the screen. So now let's test out the edges for any light bleed. Only a very slight bit in the edges, not really bad, but the edges do kind of show like a rainbow effect. You can see it's kind of purple and green. That may or may not bother you. That seems like it does it pretty much all the way around the corners. And on the other side, again, there is just a very slight bit of edge bleed as well. So now let's take a look at our case. So again, we do have these buttons on the side here, which can be switched out. All you need to simply do is kind of press the buttons in and they'll pop out from the case. And then you can replace them with any button that you want. And then to push them back in, just do the opposite from the inside out. Just push them into place and then press them up from inside the case, just like that. So I'm going to remove the power button here. Let's pop that out, and then we'll put in our yellow button. And there you go. So now I have a yellow power button with every other button being black. That's pretty cool. So let's put our phone inside the case. Fits the phone really good. It feels good in the hand. It's got kind of like a little bit of a grip to it. I don't know why ESR didn't make this kind of case for every one of their cases. It's got like a very subtle texture which feels good in the hand. Buttons are all nice and clicky, easily pressable. If you take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get with the screen protector on the front of the phone. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. We have some slight little extra bumps for corner protection. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button. I love those buttons. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and a cutout for our camera on the side. And on the back, it's got a nice frosted backing that helps keep fingerprints down. We've got our Magsafe and we have our raised edge around our cameras. So let's test out that Magsafe. Nice strong hold, charges immediately. Man, that is nice. That fits perfectly. And again, you don't have to worry about the Magsafe accessory just coming off your phone. I think this has the strongest hold out of all of the cases that we've tested here today. That is nice. Now, the one gripe I have about this case is the fact that they did not include a stash stand. That would have made this case almost perfect. So let's test out the camera button. You can very easily press the button on the side. It didn't work the first time because of bugs in the phone still. Let's test out our gestures. Gestures seem to be working pretty good. It's got a nice shallow kind of cutout, so you can very easily still hit that button. Yeah, it's working very nice. So again, like I said, this case is really nice. If they would have included the stash stand, it would have been pretty much perfect. And then as far as case compatibility for the glass, you can see that there is a slight gap all the way around the case still. So it should be compatible with most cases. And I also don't see any lifting or any bubbles. So it fits these ESR cases perfectly. So everything's looking good for the case and the screen protector. Now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So we're going to start off our test by dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go, 2 feet. 2 feet. So this screen protector only lasted up until a 2-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a MOUS hardness number 6, so we're going to start off our test with the number 5. And we'll move on to a number 6, and then a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are at a number 6 and just a little deeper at a number 7. So scratch resistance for the screen protector is pretty much standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was pretty easy. There were some bubbles that we had to work through, but in the end, it looked pretty good. It does also seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 2-foot drop, and scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. And then here we have Poetic Revolution case. So here is the case. It does have a camera cover on the back, which can slide over to the side, just like that. It's a little hard when the phone's not in the case because it kind of bends in and it makes it harder to open, but we do have that. We also have a plastic kickstand on the back, which is really nice. And like I mentioned before, this is also a 2-piece design, so we have to take out this inner portion to put over our phone before we can put the phone back in the case. The inner portion of the case also has kind of like a soft type material as well to help keep your phone scratch free. And this case has also been military grade drop tested. So the way that we get the inner core portion out is you look for this little corner here with this little slot, and then you can kind of push back on the case. Maybe. Sometimes this usually works. It's really hard to do. But if you have a plastic pick, something like that, you can kind of wedge it in this little portion here and then just kind of get out that inner core, and there you go. So we're going to be testing out the one with the screen protector in it since I don't have a screen protector on my phone. So the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen of our phone because we don't want anything trapped on the screen when we put it in the case. Then dry it off. Then once your screen is clean, you just take your protector, peel off the little film on the inside, then place this whole thing over the top of your phone, just like that. And then we'll place this whole thing back into the case, and we'll press it into place. And once that's done, we can peel off the top protector. And we're all set. So there it is in the case. Now it doesn't feel grippy, but it feels kind of like a smooth rubber. Buttons are also nice and clicky, easily pressable. We also do have some cutouts for our sensors and our camera on the front here. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get for the front screen. It does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone, but we are getting the drop protection as well. We have our volume buttons right here, action button, little texture on the sides. We have our cutouts on the bottom, and we also have our covered charging port as well. On the other side, we have our power button and a cutout for our camera button. On the back, again, it's got a nice hard plastic where we do have the plastic kickstand, so you can use your phone in a landscape or a portrait mode. And in landscape, it's kind of like angled towards your face, which is really nice. And then it folds right back down inside the case. And we also do have that camera cover over here as well, which if you keep open all the time, you're going to have this little piece here. So you're most likely going to need to have your cameras covered all the time. It snaps into place. As you can see, it's not moving. You just need to kind of press it over to the side to get it open. But as you can see, now that the phone is in there, it opens a lot easier. It's a pretty nice case. Now this doesn't have MagSafe built in, but you can use regular wireless charging if you need. So now let's test out our camera button. We do have a rather large cutout, so you can very easily access the button with that finger press. We'll open up our camera, and then we'll try out our gestures. Get into photo. And it does seem to be working perfectly fine, nice and smooth. Now the only thing with this is there's kind of a large bump to get over to actually access the button. So if you have smaller fingers, it might be a little harder for you, but there's plenty of a cutout here to access that button. So now let's test out the screen protector. See how it reacts with fingerprints. And it does seem to pick up a pretty good amount of fingerprints. Let's see how easily they wipe away. Fairly easily, not as easy as glass with the oleophobic coating, but you can wipe those away. Let's take a look at Face ID. Face ID working fine. Check out our camera. Camera looks nice and clear. Don't see any issues there. So now let's look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And as you can see, there's only a very slight rainbow effect if you're looking at the phone kind of from the side. But if you're looking at it dead on, it's pretty clear. So not a bad case. Definitely seems to offer 360-degree protection with the camera cover and the front cover covered with the plastic insert. Pretty nice case. And then here we have the MOUS Limitless 6.0 case in aramid fiber. And here is the case. As you can see on the back, it does have that 1500D aramid fiber. Feels nice and smooth. Also keeps down the fingerprints. And on the inside, we also have some extra shock pads for drop protection. We have like a microfiber cloth on the inside as well, and it's also got MagSafe built in. This is one of my most favorite mouse cases. Feels good in the hand. It's not grippy, but it has like a slight texture on the side. Buttons are also very easily pressable. Nice and clicky. If we take a look at this case from inside, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of the phone. Very nice. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. We also have some reinforcements in the corners as well. We have a lanyard hole, some of the texture on the side, our volume buttons and the action button. Cutouts on the bottom, pretty interesting here. We have our power button on the side here, as well as a large cutout for the camera button. You can see kind of like that texture on the sides here. And on the back, again, we have that aramid fiber. Looks and feels really nice. And we do have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. And this also does have MagSafe built in, so let's test that out. I have our MagSafe power bank here. Clips onto the back. Charges your phone immediately. And it's also got a nice strong hold, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off your phone. Pretty nice. And this case also does work with regular wireless charging as well. So let's check out our camera button on the side here. Can very easily access that button because there's a very large cutout. Let's test out our touch gestures. Seems to be working just fine as well. No problems there. Really nice case. If you're looking for a case that's going to keep your phone safe from drops, I would definitely recommend the MOUS Limitless case. This is definitely one of my favorites. And even though this case has a very aggressive raised edge on the top and the bottom of the phone, you can still easily access the bottom from swiping up. And if you need to swipe down from the top, you can do that as well. And then here we have the SPIGEN Tough Armor AI case in a frost black. And here is the case. Looks pretty interesting. It's got kind of like a transparent backing that has a matte feel to it. It's got Magsafe built in, and we have a little plastic kickstand on the back here as well. We also have some foam pieces on the inside to help with drop protection. Now this is also a two-piece design. Now I'm not really partial to these kind of cases because they have this kind of flexible TPU rubber type inner core, and then they have this hard piece of plastic that goes over the softer portion. And over time, this kind of rubbery material tends to like bow out some, which does not look good. But let's put our phone inside the case. So it feels pretty good in the hand. It's not grippy. It is like a smooth rubber. And the buttons are pretty flush with the phone. They're flat. It's kind of hard to find. As you can see from the side here, these two buttons, they don't really stick out from the side of the case at all. They're pretty flush with the case itself. That's another thing I really don't like, but they're very easy to press the buttons, which is good when you can find them. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that there is a slight raised edge on the front of the phone. On the side here, we have those kind of reinforcements in the corners. We also have this plastic kind of coated silicone on the side, and then we have the softer kind of rubbery type material, the volume buttons and the action button. We have our cutouts in the bottom. We have our power button right here, which you almost really can't tell, and then we have the cutout for the camera button. On the back again, it does feel like a soft silicone, which is matte, and it keeps down the fingerprints. We have this kind of cheap plastic kickstand. It's this really flimsy, just little thing that'll keep your phone in a landscape but not portrait, and then it folds right back into place, and we have a slight edge around our camera lenses. So let's test out our Magsafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone, and it's got a pretty good hold on there as well. Again, nice strong hold. You don't have to worry about your Magsafe accessory just falling off the back. It's got a pretty good hold. So let's test out our camera. So let's test out our camera button. So you can easily press that in with one finger, and we'll test out the touch gestures. Seems like you can easily access that button. Yep, seems to be working pretty good. So I'm not a huge fan of this case for the reasons I'd already mentioned, but it will protect your phone. And then here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid case. And here is the case itself. As you can see, it is clear, and it has a carbon fiber MagSafe ring, which looks pretty interesting. It's got a hard backing surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. We have to take off this plastic protector on the inside before we put our phone in there. Feels good in the hand. It does have grip to it. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. We also have a slight raised edge on the front of the phone. You can see it doesn't really add a lot of bulk to the phone either. You can see how thick that back plastic plate is. We've got some bubbles in the corner for some extra reinforcements for drops. We have our volume buttons on the side, our action button, cutouts in the bottom, power button on the side, along with a cutout for our camera button and the lanyard hole. And then on the back, got that nice clear backing to show off the color of your phone with that carbon fiber MagSafe. You can't feel it. It's kind of like embedded in the plastic. And we've got a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. So let's test out our MagSafe. Got a nice strong hold. Turn on the battery, try this again. Charges your phone, and it's got a nice strong hold on the back too. Man, that is on there. You definitely don't have to worry about your phone falling off your MagSafe accessory. So let's test out our camera button. Camera button working fine, and you can press it very easily. Test out our touch gestures. Seems to be working pretty good there too. Very nice. So a simple clear case with a cool MagSafe carbon fiber ring on the back. And here we have the I BLASON ArmorBox case. And here is the case. So if we look on the back here, it's got a really cool kind of industrial robotic design. It does have MagSafe built in. We also have a metal camera cover that doubles as a kickstand. It's got like a felt material on the inside. And this case also has a built-in plastic screen protector. Now this is a two-piece design, so we need to get the inner core out of the outer protector, and you do that by kind of pressing back in this one corner. So we'll press back just like this and then kind of pull out the inner core, and there you go. So before we put this over our phone, we need to thoroughly clean off our screen with the alcohol wipe or whatever you have to clean it with. Then dry it off. Then take your protector and take out the foam core, peel out the inner protector, place this over the top of our phone, press it into place, and then take this whole thing and we're going to press it into the case here. And then we can peel off the top protector. There we go. Looks really nice, feels good in the hand. It does have some grip to it. Got a lot of texture on the sides here. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a raised edge around the front of the phone. It also adds a little bit of extra bulk to the phone as well, but we are getting that military grade drop protection. We've got a lot of reinforcements in the corners in case you happen to drop your phone. A lot of texturing on the side, helps with grip. We have our separated volume button and our action button. On the bottom we have our cutouts again, covered charging port, lanyard holes on the side. On the other side here, again, we have that texturing with our power button, and we also have a button that covers our camera button, which we'll try out. On the back, again, looks really cool. We have our MagSafe built in and that metal camera cover that is not flimsy at all. Stays pretty much in place where you put it, and you can pretty much fold it on its back. But if you want to use it as a kickstand, you can do that as well in a landscape or even a portrait mode. And then it folds right back into place over your camera cover or your camera lenses to give them protection. Now this also does have MagSafe built in, so we'll test that out. Wow, it's a nice strong hold, charges immediately, and it's got a really nice strong hold on the back. So again, you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off the case. It's on there really good. So now let's test out the camera cover button. Nice and clicky, easily pressable. No problems there. Let's open up our camera cover on the back here so you guys can see. Let's test out our touch. Touch seems to be working well also. Yeah, working pretty good. Very nice. All right, so now let's take a look at the screen protector. So this does cover the whole screen, but we do have a cutout for our camera. So Face ID is working just fine. Let's test that out. And Face ID is working fine. Let's take a look at the camera. Camera's nice and clear, no issues there. Now as far as fingerprints, the screen does pick up some fingerprints that you can see on the screen there. And then wipe those away fairly easily, not too bad. And as far as the touch goes, it does feel like a plastic screen protector. It's not as smooth as the glass. There's a little bit of resistance, but it's not bad at all. So now let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. There is a slight rainbow effect, but not bad at all. Looks pretty good. You can only see it when you kind of look at the screen from the side. And this case also does work with regular wireless charging as well. I BLASON does make some pretty nice protective cases, and this one seems to be another really nice case. So if you're looking for some good 360-degree drop protection, I would recommend checking out the ArmorBox. And then here we have the TORRAS P-Stand 360 spin case. And here is the case. Now this case has been military grade drop tested up to 16 feet. We do have MagSafe built in. It does have a nice firm hard backing. It is frosted. We also have a metal kickstand on the bottom here that does rotate 360 degrees. And the case is surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. Feels pretty good in the hand. It does not have any grip to it. It is a smooth rubber type feel. It does have a smooth rubber type feel. We've got our buttons on the side here, which do look really nice. Buttons are easily pressable. Nice and clicky. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the screen. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. Here, as you can see, those separated volume buttons and the action button. And these buttons are very nicely rounded off, so they feel nice and smooth. There's no sharp edges. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button, again, which is rounded off, and a cutout for our camera button on the back. It is a frosted backing, so it shows off the color of your phone and keeps down those fingerprints. Again, we also do have this metal kickstand, which feels nice and solid, and it rotates 360 degrees, so you can use your phone in a portrait mode, or you can also lay it down in a landscape as well. Pretty nice little kickstand. And we also do have almost a full coverage camera protector on the back as well. You can see how it kind of fills in the areas in between the lenses. So let's test out our MagSafe. We got our MagSafe power bank here, clips right onto the back, charges the phone, and it's got a pretty nice strong hold on the back as well. So you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory. Drop the phone. Your MagSafe, I dropped the phone, but the MagSafe accessory stayed on. It does have a nice strong hold for that MagSafe accessory, so you definitely don't have to worry about that. So now let's test out the camera button. So you can easily access that with one finger. Now let's try out the touch gestures. So it does have a pretty good cutout, but the button is a little recessed, so you might have to just kind of press just a little bit more to get access, but it does seem to be working fairly good except for that right there. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's just hard to hold this phone because it's smaller than the Pro Max, and there's so many buttons to press. There's not a lot of real estate to actually hold onto the phone, so it's a lot harder to actually use this button here. But as you can see, it does seem to be working. So not a bad case. I do like the kickstand on the back. It's kind of minimal instead of making the whole MagSafe ring that kickstand. The only other thing I would really like to see on this case is some texturing or some grip on the sides to make it a little easier to hold in the hand. And then here we have the TORRAS Slim Fit case. And here is the case itself. So this is a pretty thin, light case. It is a full coverage case, so it covers all sides of the phone, but it's super light and it's not made of any flexible rubbery type materials. It's all solid plastic, but it does have MagSafe built in. So it fits the phone pretty good. Feels good in the hand. Again, there's no grip. It does feel like a smooth type of plastic. Buttons are nice and clicky. Pretty easily pressable. They're not as easy to press as some of the other cases, but they do work. If we take a look at the side of the case, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. And also it keeps the phone pretty slim. Here we have those buttons on the side and the action button. These buttons are not free floating. They're actually part of the case, which is part of the reason why it's a little bit harder to press in. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, our power button on the side, along with our cutout for our camera button on the back. It's got kind of like a matte kind of look, so it keeps down those fingerprints. And we do have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. Not a horrible case. Again, it does keep your phone pretty slim. I just kind of wish that there was some sort of a texture or grip or something on the side to help hold the phone in your hand. Let's try out our MagSafe accessory. Hold on to the back, charges your phone. And it also has a pretty good strong hold on there as well. So again, you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. It's on there pretty good. So let's test out our camera button now. So you can access the camera button with the one finger. Let's test out the touch gestures. And the gesture seems to be working just fine. Yeah, it works pretty good. Not too bad. So just a very simple, slim case with MagSafe built in for your phone. Not too bad. Again, I just wish there was some grip on the sides to help, with it not being so smooth, and the buttons may be a little bit easily more pressable. Then here we have a clear case by FNT Case. So here is the case itself. As you can see, it is a pretty simple clear case. We've got MagSafe built in, and it does seem to have some extra protection in the corners of the phone as well. It does have a nice firm hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. Is there a plastic piece to take out on the inside? Does not look like it, so we'll put our phone inside the case. Feels really good in the hand. It does have a good grip to it. Buttons are nice and clicky. Pretty easily pressable. The action button's a little more stiff, but the other buttons aren't too bad. If we take a look at the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. And on the sides here, again, you can see all those little extra bubbles to help with drop protection. Keeps the phone fairly slim, and you can see how thick that bottom plastic piece is. We've got our volume buttons on the side and our action button. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. We've got our power button on the other side, along with the cutout for our camera button on the back. Just peel off this protector. And as you can see, it is crystal clear to show off the color of your phone. We've got MagSafe built in, and we do have a pretty good raised edge around our cameras as well. So let's test out our MagSafe. Pretty strong hold. Charges your phone immediately. Yeah, it's got a pretty good hold on there. You're not going to drop your phone, and the MagSafe accessory isn't just going to come off. Very nice. And this also does work with regular wireless charging as well. Pretty much every phone that's got MagSafe on the back will work with regular wireless charging. So let's test out that camera button. Camera button working perfectly fine, very easy to find. Let's test out our touch gestures. Seems to be working pretty good. Yeah, it's working out really well. Very nice little cutout. So again, very simple, clear case. Nothing special. It's got MagSafe built in. Not too bad. Then here we have a transparent pink case by Onyx. And here is the case. As you can see, it's got a transparent pink hard backing surrounded by a frosted kind of matte rubber material. We also do have MagSafe built in. Fits the phone good. It does feel good in the hand, but it's got kind of like a smooth plastic type feel. So there's no grip or anything to this case, which is unfortunate. As far as the buttons are very easily pressable, nice and clicky. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see we have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. On the sides here, we've got our separated volume buttons and our action button, and it seems like we have some extra kind of a rubbery type material on the inside to help with drop protection. You can see the matte look on the sides. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our cutout for our camera button on the side. Again, you can kind of see the extra little shock absorbers on the inside of the case. On the back, it is just a very clear, kind of shiny plastic with MagSafe built in, and we have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. I'm not sure why, but a lot of these cases don't have a big raised edge for more protection on the cameras, which is kind of unfortunate because I like to see a nice raised edge. But let's test out our MagSafe. Charges your phone immediately. And it also does seem to have a pretty good strong hold on the phone as well, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. Very nice. So not a horrible case. I love the buttons. I love how clicky they are. It needs to have some grip to it. Let's test out our camera button. So you can easily press the camera button. And as far as the touch gestures goes, touch gestures seem to be working just fine. And I'm not pressing very hard either. It seems to be working pretty good. So not too bad. So again, not a bad case. Everything seems to be pretty nice about this case, except for the smooth type feel. I really wish that these, the sides of the case had some grip or something on it so it wasn't so smooth. And then here we have a pretty cool looking case by RAPTIC. And here's the case. So as you can see, it's got a really cool kind of color changing metal ring around the back of the case. It does also have a hard plastic backing with MagSafe built in. This has also been drop tested up to 10 feet, and it's surrounded by a firm rubbery type material. So it feels good in the hand, but it's not grippy. It does have that smooth plastic type feel to it, which I really don't care for. I don't know why they can't put some sort of a texture or make it grippy, because why wouldn't you want that? As far as the buttons are not good at all. They're flush with they're like perfectly flush with the case. The only thing to signify that you're actually touching something are these little nubs, which are not really easy to feel. And again, you don't really know what you're pressing on the side. And as far as the button press, it is so slight, you really might not even be able to tell that you're actually pressing in a button. So that's definitely a big downfall for this case. But it does have reinforced edges for drop protection. If we take a look at the sides, you can see it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. It also adds just a little bit of bulk to the phone itself. Here, as you can see, we have our lanyard holes, and these buttons on the side, they're just all the same. There's really nothing to help signify what you're actually pressing. We have our cutouts on the bottom, and the interesting thing about this is there's no holes for the speaker on the bottom, but there are on the top. So I'm assuming that they're doing this to kind of aim the sound towards you. We'll test that out. On the other side, we do have our power button, which is again flush with the case, and a cutout for our camera button. On the back, again, shows off the color of your phone. We have MagSafe built in, and just an ever so slight ring around our cameras. Like, that's almost flush with the cameras itself. So definitely not a lot of good things going for this case. Let's test out our Magsafe. Charges immediately, and it's got a pretty good hold on the back of the case. So again, you don't have to worry about your phone just falling off. It's got a pretty good hold. Not too bad. So let's test out our camera button. Easily press it with one finger. Let's test out our touch gestures. Gestures seem to be working just fine. Yeah, no problems there. All right, so that's working. Now let's test out the speakers. So this is just a test of recording my voice because the microphone has a little speaker grill over the mic as well as the speaker. So we're going to play this back and see how it sounds. So that seems to work pretty good. I do feel like the sound is angled more towards my face than it would be just coming out of the case, but that little feature is definitely not enough to make me want to even buy this case again or even recommend it because of these buttons on the side. So I would definitely stay away from this case. Again, the buttons on the side make this case really not very usable. If they just made these stick out a little bit more or even make them a little bit different so you can actually feel like what you're pressing, the case might be worth buying, but I would definitely tell you to stay away from this case. And then here we have a case by SPIGEN. So here is the case itself. It does have a nice smooth frosted back with MagSafe built in. It also looks to have almost a full coverage camera lens protector as well. This also does come with a couple tempered glass screen protectors, which we will be doing a drop and a scratch test for. And here is the case. So let's put the case on the phone first. We'll see how much of a raised edge we get. Then we'll do the installation for the screen protector. So the case does feel good in the hand, but it's got a smooth rubber type feel to it. It might also be on the verge of being too slippery for a case, which is definitely not good. The buttons on the side are easily pressable, nice and clicky. The action button is a little bit harder than normal to press in. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see we don't get much of a raised edge on the front of our screen. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. The buttons on the side are part of the case itself. They're separated. There's our action button, a lanyard hole. We have our cutouts on the bottom. Power button on the side along with a cutout for our camera button, and again on the back it is nice and frosted to show off the color of your phone. We got MagSafe, and the camera protector has a nice little raised edge along with it filling in the gaps for each one of the lenses to give it a little bit more protection. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips on pretty easily, charges your phone, and it seems to have a pretty good strong hold on the MagSafe power bank, so you don't have to worry about your accessory just falling off. It's got a pretty good hold. Then as far as the camera button, you can very easily access that with one finger. Let's test out the touch gestures. Does seem to be pretty easy to use the swipe feature. No problems here. Seems to be working pretty good. Again, like I mentioned, the only thing that's really bad about this case is the way that it feels slippery, which is definitely not good. They should have put some texture or something on the sides of the case. Other than that, it seems like a pretty nice, simple MagSafe case. So now let's install the screen protector, and since they don't give you a guide, I would probably tell you to just keep your case on your phone and install the screen protector that way, because the case will act as somewhat of a guide. Then we'll take one of our screen protectors. So it seems like it's probably going to be case friendly, which means there's probably going to be some sort of a gap. So I would probably put some guide stickers on each side of the screen protector. This might not even matter because the stickers might come right off the screen, making installation even harder than it was before, but we're going to try that out. So it should look something like this. I kind of offset this sticker because there's the little speaker grill cover in the middle here, so just make sure that that speaker grill is going towards the cameras on your phone. We'll peel off the backing here. And then we'll kind of hold on to our guide for installation. And then you can kind of just move your finger down the screen to kind of help it adhere. You can see that it's adhering pretty good to the screen. And we do have a little bubble at the bottom and just kind of squeegee that out with your finger. Not too bad. Give it a little wipe off. And it looks pretty good. So it does look like the screen protector pretty much comes up to the edge of the case on the sides. We'd have a slight gap on the top here and at the bottom. I don't see any bubbles, no lifting. It seems to fit the case perfectly. As far as touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on your phone. And as far as fingerprints goes, it does pick up some smudges, not really bad. There are some off to the side here, but you can very easily just wipe those away. So this is a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover your cameras. Let's test out our Face ID. Face ID works fine. Let's test out our camera. Camera looks nice and clear, no issues there, so you shouldn't have any problems taking any photos. It is also crystal clear. Touch working great. So now let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that the rainbow effect really isn't that bad. It's just ever so subtle. And not bad at all. So far so good. Now let's test out our edges because this screen protector does have a black border. We'll test that out with our camera. And I can still see some of the edges here. Some of them are gone. So if we take a look at the screen, you can see that the bottom edge of this little white L is kind of, you're missing part of it underneath the screen protector, and you can only see it when we kind of tilt the screen. Same thing over on here. On this side, you can see the kind of the whole white line. So the screen protector does cover a little bit of the edge of the screen here. And let's test out our edge bleed. So if you take a look at the side here, you really can't see anything coming out of the edge, especially with the case on it. So we'll take our case off and we'll take another look. So you can see there is a slight bit of edge bleed on the side there, and then on the other side, ever so slight. So not too bad. But it does seem like the black border on the left side of the screen does cover a little bit of the camera. And again, you can kind of see from the L, see how you can kind of see the white line on the top here, but not on the bottom until you tilt it. So it does cover a little bit of the screen. And to show you the edge, this is how much of a raised edge we get with the tempered glass screen protector on the phone. As you can see, it's about pretty flush with the case itself. So the screen protector doesn't look too bad for it just coming with the purchase of the case, but let's see how durable it is with the drop and the scratch test. All right, so we're going to start off the test at 2 feet. 2 feet. So this screen protector only lasted up until a 2-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So we're going to start off the test with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then finally a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and a little deeper at a number 7. So scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector could have been a little bit easier with a proper guide. The screen protector was pretty close on the edges to touching the case, so it may or may not be case friendly with most cases. It only lasted up until a 2-foot drop, and scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So the screen protector will protect your phone, but it's really nothing special. And then here we have a case by Temdan. So here is the case. It also does come with 2 tempered glass screen protectors, which we will be doing a drop and a scratch test for. Here is the case. It does have a clear frosted backing with MagSafe built in. It also has a metal kickstand on the bottom here, which looks kind of like a TORRAS, like a knockoff TORRAS case. But this kickstand is made of metal, and it does seem to stay in pretty much any place you're going to put it in. It doesn't feel flimsy. And surrounding the case is a firm rubbery type material. So put our phone inside the case here. Feels pretty good in the hand. It does have a little bit of a grip to it. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we have without a tempered glass screen protector. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. We've got our separated volume buttons and our action button on the side here. Cutouts on the bottom. Ooh, cool. We do have some speaker kind of grills along with the speaker and the microphone. Pretty interesting. We have our power button on the side, cut out for our camera button, and again on the back, it's got like a silicone type feel, but it's not. It's just like a matte kind of plastic. Feels pretty cool. We have that metal kickstand that you can use to stand your phone up in a portrait mode or lay down in landscape. Folds right back into the case, and we do have a slight raised edge to protect our cameras. So let's test out our MagSafe. Seems like it has a strong hold, charges immediately. Wow. Yeah, it's got a super strong hold. So you don't have to worry about your phone coming off your MagSafe accessory at all. This is one of the stronger MagSafe rings that I've actually been able to test. That's pretty nice. So now let's test out our camera button. You can easily press it with one finger, and we'll test out the touch gestures here. It seems to be working okay. The only thing is it has that matte, like that kind of grippy matte feel to it, so you're running your finger over it. And what I'm worried about is like over time, that coating, it's got kind of like a silicone feel coating. It might wear off if you use your camera button a lot, but it does seem to work. So not too bad. Let's now install our screen protector, and because it doesn't come with a guide, I would probably say leave the case on to use it as somewhat of a guide when we're installing the screen protector. So then I'm going to use my dust sticker to kind of act as a little guide. Make sure that the little speaker grill is going towards the camera on your phone. We'll peel this off. I'll put this inside the phone case just like this, and then I'll kind of guide it with my dust sticker on the other side. So then once you have it in place, I would just kind of rub your finger on the top here, and it should start to adhere to your phone. You can see it running down the back here. You can kind of help it along if you need. Of course, we do have a ginormous piece of dust stuck under there. That's okay. And not too bad. So we did get a little piece of dust stuck underneath the screen here, but other than that, there's no bubbles, no lifting. It does seem to almost come right up to the edge of the case, so it's probably not going to be case friendly with most cases. As far as touch, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass on the phone. You can see that it is nice and clear. It's also a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover your cameras. Let's test out our Face ID. Face ID working fine. Test out our camera. Camera looks nice and clear, no issues there. You can see that it is also nice and clear, touch working fine. Now let's see what the screen looks like as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And we can see that it does have a little bit of a rainbow effect, like a pastel look. And it just gets worse with you kind of twisting and turning the phone. Now as far as fingerprints, it does seem to reject a pretty good amount of fingerprints. There's only slight smudges on the screen, but you can very easily just wipe those away. Not too bad. I do like the fact that it has a little speaker cover on the top there. Now let's take a look at our camera again and see if we could see all four of these corners. And now, unlike the other screen protector, we can see the bottom L's there, but on the top L is kind of cut off unless we tilt the screen. So this screen protector does cover a little bit of the screen, and again, it wasn't an exact installation, so you're kind of eyeballing it yourself. And if you're wondering about how much of an edge you get with the screen protector, you can see that now the screen is almost flush with the case itself. There's only a slight raised edge. So far the screen protector isn't really that bad, especially for it just coming with the purchase of the case, but let's test out the durability with the drop and the scratch test. All right, so let's start off our test at 2 feet. 2 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 2-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So we're going to start off our test with a number 5. And then we'll move on to a number 6. And then a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are a little deeper at a number 6 and a little deeper than that at the number 7. So scratch resistance is standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was pretty easy, but it could have been a little better lined up with a guide. It also may or may not be case friendly with most cases. It only lasted up until a 2-foot drop, and scratch resistance is standard for tempered glass. And then here we have a case by Fire Nova. And then here is the case. It is a silicone case. It also comes with a couple tempered glass screen protectors, which we will be testing out with a drop and a scratch test. But as you can see, it is like a full coverage silicone case. It does have a fairly firm hard backing surrounded by a firm somewhat edge with silicone coverings, but where the buttons are and the cutouts is, it's very flimsy. It also does have a kind of felt material on the inside, and we'll see if it does have Magsafe as well. Fits the phone pretty good. It does feel good in the hand. It's got that smooth silicone type feel. It is not grippy at all. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that we get a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. Here we have our separated volume buttons and our action button on the side, which is part of the case. We have our cutouts on the bottom, power button on the side with a cutout for our camera. And you can see this little flimsy piece of silicone right here. I don't really like that. And on the back, again, it's all silicone. We have a nice big raised edge to protect our camera lenses, and it also does fill in between all the lenses and the sensors. Let's see if it's got MagSafe, and it does not. So if you're going to charge up your phone, you can either use the wire or a regular wireless charger. So let's test out our camera button. You can very easily press in that button. Let's test out our touch gestures. Gestures seem to be working pretty good. So pretty nice. The only thing again is this little rubber silicone piece right here. That's definitely going to wear out over time. And then the buttons over on the corner here come out really easily. Typically with silicone cases that have edges like this, over time, the heat and everything will kind of make these kind of bow out like that. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's just a very simple silicone case. So now let's install our tempered glass. Now, since we don't get an installation guide, I would tell you to just keep your case on your phone and use that as somewhat of a guide. Then take your screen protector, making sure that the sticker is on the underside of the screen protector. It doesn't really matter which way you put it because it's the same all the way around. So we'll peel this off. And then we'll hold on to the sides to install the screen protector. Then once you have it in place, you can kind of press down on the top here, and it should start to adhere to your screen. So not too bad. So there is the screen protector. It does still have a pretty good gap all the way around the screen, so it should be case compatible with most cases. It does also cover the sensors and the camera. The edges also seem to be rounded off. As far as the feel, feels just as smooth as the glass on the phone. And for fingerprints, it does pick up some smudges on the screen, as you can see, but you can just easily wipe those away. Then as far as our Face ID working fine, and so is our camera. Looks nice and clear. You can see that the screen is also nice and clear. Touch working fine. Barely have to touch the screen. And then let's look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And that rainbow effect is pretty bad. That's some of the worst that I've seen. And then let's see if the edges cover any of the camera. And you can pretty much see all four of the corners in the lens here, and that's mostly because the screen protector does not have any black borders. And then if you're wondering about the edges of this case, you can see that even with the screen protector, we still do get a slight raised edge around the case. So everything's looking pretty good so far. Now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. All right, so let's start off our test at 2 feet. Moving on to 3 feet. 3 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 3-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So we're going to start off our test with a number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then a number 7. And if we take a closer look, you can see there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and about the same at a number 7. So scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector wasn't hard, but it could have been better with a guide. It does seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 3-foot drop, and scratch resistance is pretty standard for tempered glass. If you guys have stayed with me this far, thank you so much for all your support. And if you're enjoying the video and you found it useful, please help my channel grow by hitting that like button and consider subscribing. So now that I've had a chance to test out all those cases, I'm going to let you know which cases I thought were the best based on a few different categories. But before I do that, I need to tell you which case I thought was the absolute worst. And that honor goes to the RAPTIC Shield case. I thought this case was going to be pretty cool looking at it at first glance, but after putting my phone in it and getting to feel it in my hand, the buttons on this case are the absolute worst. First off, they are totally flush with the case, so you really can't even feel where the buttons are to press them in unless you're physically looking at the phone. And when you finally do find the buttons to actually press them, they're so slight of a travel that you really can't even feel that you're actually pressing the buttons in. I would not recommend this case, and I would totally stay away from it. Now for the best kickstand case, I would go with the ESR Hybrid case with stash stand. Now the best thing about this case is the stash stand. The stash stand is actually a metal ring around your camera lenses that also doubles as a kickstand. So it doesn't add any extra bulk to the case like some of the other kickstands do. It just adds more protection for your camera lenses and again, gives you the functionality of a metal kickstand. Now for the best regular cases that you can use for everyday use that'll still offer your phone some pretty good protection while keeping it somewhat slim, I would recommend going with the CAUDABE Sheath or the BENKS Armor Pro. The CAUDABE Sheath feels great in the hand. It also feels premium because of the metal buttons that it uses. It's got Magsafe built in, and it's got a really nice grip to it. The BENKS Armor Pro is also a really nice choice. It does keep your phone pretty slim while offering some good day-to-day protection. It is also made of Kevlar. The only thing about the BENKS Armor Pro case is it does have a smooth type feel, whereas the Sheath has more of a grip. Then for the best minimalist case, I would recommend going with the BENKS Armor Air case. This case is super light, super thin, and it's pretty strong because it's made of Kevlar. And if you like the way your phone feels without a case on it, but you still want to add some protection, this case is definitely for you because it is super thin. It feels like the phone does not even have a case on it. It also comes in a few different patterns in case you don't like this green, and it's got MagSafe built in. Then for the best slimish cases that are going to offer your phone some good drop protection, I would recommend going with the SUPCASE MagXT, the I BLASON ArmorBox, and the MOUS Limitless case. Both the SUPCASE and the I BLASON cases both feel really great in the hand. They also have some really good edge protection to protect your phone from drops. They both have a metal cover on the back of your phone to protect your camera lenses that also acts as a kickstand. And then the MOUS Limitless case also offers your phone some really good drop protection while kind of maintaining a regular case feel. This particular one has aramid fiber, and it's also got MagSafe built in. Then the best case for the overall drop protection, I would recommend the SUPCASE UB Pro and the Poetic Revolution case. Both of these cases do make your phone a little bit more bulky than most cases, but it also offers your phone 360-degree protection. Both of these cases do have kickstands, and they also both have plastic screen protectors built in. The only major difference between both of these cases is the SUPCASE UB Pro comes with a belt clip. Now, if there was a case that you didn't see in this video that you'd like to recommend for future videos, let me know in the comments below. I'd also really like to know what your favorite case was and why you chose it. Thank you again so much for all your support. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.